today we have a special guest. We have the man, the myth, the legend, Peter Finch Golf. Now Peter, you're gonna be, let's try this again. Peter will be giving me a lesson today. Now I've been struggling with my wedges, getting them online, hitting them low, and I've also been struggling with my mid irons. So he's gonna look at my wedges, my mid irons, and we'll take a couple driver swings to round it off. But I want your honest opinion on how I could hit my wedges better. This is basically a live lesson with Peter Finch. Okay. But what is your experience in teaching? I want to know that.
I mean, I've been a PGA Pro for longer than I want to admit, but let's call it about 15 to 16 years.
So when Grant was in diapers.
Yeah, Grant
I was in diapers, yeah.
Yes, and that makes me feel absolutely terrible, so thanks for that. But yeah, 16 years. I've coached, hundreds and hundreds of golfers across my lifetime, and I'm very excited to see what we can do for you today. Although, depending on when this video is going out, if you've already seen how Grant's been playing recently, I might not say anything. This might just be me going, yeah, that's good stuff.
It's American accent. You're losing your accent since you've been here.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm feeling like I need to become more Floridian.
Yeah.
I want to be part of this community. So I don't want to be an outsider. It's specifically the flighting that you want to figure out, isn't it?
When I have those like 80, 75 yard shots, I want to be able to flight them and kind of hit a low draw. Like I want that ball to have draw tendency a little bit.
I mean, you already hit a draw anyway, so that's a positive. Like we don't need to.
But for some reason on my wedges, I feel like I don't. I feel like I get steep and a little weird.
That's interesting. Is that how you're trying to hit it lower though, by getting it steep, or
right? Like it could be subconscious. So I just need to figure out how I get my path or face to get this flight to lower and have a little bit of draw tendency on it.
Kind of mid-flight is that red flag there. Normally during a lesson, I'd be using launch monitors, I'd be using video, but I've spent the last couple of days with Grant, and as delightful as that has been, I've also been, getting in depth into this golf swing, so I think I've got a pretty good idea. I've had 2 days of watching him play. This isn't my first impression.
It's not just going to be wedges today, it's also those mid irons. I want to get that direction a little bit better.
Too bad. Do that. I used to charge for that. I just used to wait until they hit a good shot. I was like, you know what, just keep doing that. I think that's great. I love that for you.
That's kind of my miss. I tend to always hang them out to the right like that.
If you're trying to hit a little draw with the wedges, so that draw feeling, there's got to be a few things in play. So, we're going down to that red flag. We kind of know that we want path to be going slightly out to the right hand side. But we also know if you want to control flight, we've got to get your angle of attack moving down. Your issue, really, and you kind of know this, and this will be something we see as we move in through the rest of your swing as well, is you're approaching impact. You're coming from the inside, so your club is kind of behind the hands at this point. Then as you move through, you are adding draw by getting that rotation with those hands. So you're in here, a little bit trapped, then face rotation as the hands move through.
Right.
So the only problem is, as you come from here and you start to move the club outwards towards the ball, this is causing you to hang back, and that's adding in that little scoop in action. So that's why we're getting that bit of a thin strike. It's interesting you said that you don't want to feel like those hands kind of moving on the inside. If you get yourself set up, we'll just explain a little bit about how hand path and club path actually work, because this might set your mind at ease a little bit, okay?
Right.
So if you just take it to that kind of halfway position, so you're a little bit concerned if you want to hit that draw about those hands moving in this direction, okay?
Right.
So if you're coming into impact, the club is moving down, okay? What you've got to think about is your handle compared to your head, they can move in separate directions, okay?
Right.
So if you think about your handle, as that moves around the body, where's that club head still moving? It's still moving
out to the right.
Out to the right hand side.
So the handle can actually be moving left.
Yeah, yeah.
But the club is still moving out.
Exactly. Weight on that left knee. And then all you're really doing at this point, as you move through the ball, It's a focus on the rotation of the body towards your target, feeling at impact like your chest is a little bit more over the ball. The club, the bit that you've been most focused on, that's the bit that's going to take care of itself.
That was cool.
That was good. That was okay.
That's really
But
good.
it has to be said that you're in a good position here where you don't have to actually be changed too much within your technique. Like, your underlying technique is good. It's rather than just being here and there, we're just there and
Now
there.
I can open up.
Yeah.
Because I like hang back on my wedges and tend to scoop. I feel like now my weight's more on my left side, kind of keeping it there, and my core is dragging the handle through.
Nice. And just let that club kind of move out to the ball as the handle moves around. That's the way. That's the way. Go in. The thing is, this type of swing, this type of technique, if you wanted to adapt this, you could do it really quickly. See that ball fly there? If you get set up to it exactly the same. Now, this swing, we're making the same movements, but as you come through the ball, as if you kind of come to your finished position, feel, rather than being here, you're a little bit more pivoted in this direction. Now, this will change your ball flight by, I don't know, about 5-6 feet higher.
So instead of this,
Yeah. So instead of coming here and there, it's here, same impact position, but feel like we go more there.
that's how you change the height.
Exactly.
I'm definitely taking a lot bigger divots.
It's
A
just-
lot bigger.
It's just the club, as you move around, the club's moving out a little bit more. You're not stuck on the inside here.
Right.
On this one, put the ball position at the back of your stance, so we're talking like just off your right toe, and feel that same initial feeling that you're over it, so you pivot around, that's it, way on the left side. All that's going to happen here, this should be a slightly lower, slightly more drawy flight.
Right.
Little draw swing again, fantastic. Open up the club face, same ball position. This time, take the club way outside, massively out here, same feeling through. And what's going to happen here, you're going to be able to hit a squeezy little cut, really outside to in. Same kind of pivot feeling, squeeze the cut.
I've never been able to hit a low cut like that.
That might look easy, and we do have to remember that Grant is actually a really good golfer. Like, it's much easier to adapt these kind of positions when the underlying technique's really good. All we've done here is move the club from moving too much on the inside to the out, to understanding that a body rotation will allow that club to move from the inside to the out, and those hands to finish low around the body. It's that kind of contrast, which is a little bit confusing, but technique-wise, this is great.
I want to be able to actually pull that off on the course. To wrap this little wedge session feel up, what I'm feeling, and tell me if I'm wrong,
Okay.
but I'm ending up with my spine angle in a direct one line going down to my foot instead of arched back here.
Yeah.
So this is like adding long.
Yeah. It's all about how you're using like your body and your pivot. So rather than being in there, we are now in there.
Right.
And that's your base of your pitching. Ball position going back, you'll be able to hit it lower. Take away, you'll be able to hit that kind of low fizzy fade. And then we can always finish in this position. The impact doesn't change. If you then wanted to hit it higher, then we can move up here. If not, we're here.
Gotcha. We've tapped into the wedges there. I got the feeling down. Feels great. Now it's just about me coming out and practicing and applying that. But this yardage, so I have a pitching wedge here.
Okay.
Say it's 130 yards. I hit my pitching wedge 135 to this blue pin out here. When I have a breeze way into me, I tend to get super steep, and what happens is it rides up the face and into the wind.
Yep.
So how can I round off a 3/4 knockdown swing?
Okay.
Because I always say, like on video, I'm like, I'm gonna punch this, and what tends to happen even when I'm trying to punch it is it rides up the face, I'm steep, really digging down, and it comes up way short. I just wanna be able to actually, when I wanna pierce a shot through the wind, be able to actually pierce it and not right up the face.
Okay, that's cool.
that comes from-
We've always just got to be slightly aware of your tendency to get the club a little bit too much on the inside. That's with your iron shots, that's the kind of crux and where that left miss will come from. It's where that block comes from as well.
Let me hit a couple here. I'm gonna go to this blue pin. When I'm into the breeze and I just want to be able to really compress it into the wind. That's the thing. Because it is windy here in Florida a lot.
I mean, this is obviously something which we can see throughout your irons as well. So this, even though we're talking about a specific shot here about controlling trajectory, this is something you could apply to the rest of your irons.
Right.
Okay. So if you get yourself set up, so really nice top of the backswing position. Club face is, pretty square. Got maybe a kind of slight cup here in the wrist, but we're not going to go too crazy on that. As you start down, what's your first move here, down towards the ball?
Usually to try and get to my left side.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of staying back, I usually try and pivot to my left side and then rotate.
Okay, perfect. So there, then that first move you make is there and there. Okay. Now, straight away, your left arm, your right arm, in relation to your body, look how inside this is.
Right.
Literally straight away.
Right.
Now, as you continue to turn, club moves massively inside, right arm here. Look how it's almost stuck. A lot of timing. Now, fortunately, with your technique, and this is just, how you swing it, plus your rhythm and your tempo, it doesn't really change. We've joked about this the last few days, like when Grant tries to hit it hard, literally nothing changes.
Right.
It's just the same swing.
Yeah.
It's just the same swing with a slightly quicker recall. That's it. But the advantage of that is, because it's a timing issue, you have the ability to actually square that face more often than not, because you've got that beautiful rhythm. For this type of shot, getting on the inside and trying to trap it is just going to mean you slide more in an attempt to get into an impact position where you can have a decent
that's where I
angle attack.
usually, I'm almost every time on these shots steep. I'm digging a divot so deep, and I hate it.
It's interesting because, like, if we can get you in a position where, not quite with the same as the wedges, but where you're a little bit more in front of the body with the arms and on top at impact, you won't actually have to slide as much. Now, what I want you to get the feeling of is at the top of the swing that the hands are just a little bit higher, okay?
Okay.
So your backswing, your hands are a touch higher. Now, moving down, rather than having that like kind of press and movement this way, feel that your first movement are the hands and arms coming down more here.
Right.
So it's a little bit more in front of the body. So if you think of your transition in your swing, it's here, then turn and rotate. Feel like it's so slow moving out in front, then turning it on. A little bit more, there we go. A little bit more out in front. Almost. That was actually really good. Ooh, that initial fly, so much better. Well, you can see straight away, because normally with your flight, we've got like quite a high initial launch, and then that kind of drop off to the left-hand side. That was very straight, and it also started off a lot lower, so we know your path must have come in a little bit more neutral there, a little bit straighter.
Right. Let's watch Pete hit a couple, because he's really good all week at striking his irons. It's something that is amazing to watch. The sound he makes with his irons. He's playing these super blady irons. That. What club is that?
That was a 9, so a little bit more rough to it. I grew up mostly on courses that were very windy. So I had to learn to really kind of cover that ball, or I wouldn't be able to do anything really.
What?
That was cool.
That was good. I'll tell you that one. You're gonna have to slow down that swing
Right.
to actually achieve the distance. I like doing things, especially with better players, because this is a practice to try and hit kind of a more penetrating ball flight, but this is also practicing a completely different shot. So it's almost like you're working on two things at once.
Guys, shout out to Peter for coming on the channel and giving me a lesson. I've really struggled. If you guys have been watching the videos, I've struggled with my wedge shots and flighting my irons. I can't get them online. They're right and left, they're all over the place. So now I feel like this is also gonna help me get my irons online, that feeling. But only thing I'm gonna say, obviously we're coming off a very good round today. It's filmed after a very good round of golf. And I did hit my driver good, but I still feel like I was fighting a left mitt. And I feel like the club was getting back here, and I know that in my brain. But it's about how do I actually keep it out in front of me and keep my body rotating, because I feel like my lower body wants to stall out. Like I get to a certain point and this moves out of the way, but this is not actually clearing. Like I'm not like, I want to get more open with my body. Is there like a feeling for that?
Just hit a couple, because this is, yeah. I don't know, it's tough because you've just absolutely smashed me on the golf course today. Should have asked to make these changes earlier on.
As good as I can hit it there.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet. Maybe a nice way to feel this, we'll have a bit of experiment, maybe a nice way of feeling this, it's because it's a similar issue as far as like your hips kind of sliding, club getting a little bit stuck and then moving out here. Rather than it being your hips that are stalling, I kind of think it might just be the fact that your upper body isn't getting open.
Right.
So rather than thinking about turning your left hip through, have a feeling that you're trying to clear your left shoulder massively out of the way as you hit. First genuine little bleeding fade I've seen you hit.
Hard to clear my lower body when I'm like this.
Your lower half, as you get to impact, your lower half is cleared. Let's make 100% sure that everybody watching this knows your lower half is cleared. Your left leg is straightened, your left foot moves back at impact when you really give it some, in grand standards, which means your lower half must have cleared. This isn't going to be moving backwards unless your left hip clears. Really good.
Cannot. I mean, I want to end on that. I do not want to hit another golf ball. Shout out to Peter for helping me today and giving me that lesson. Be sure to check out his channel. And also, he has a teaching channel called The Swing Quest.
Yeah.
Where we'll be looking at your swing next. We're going to be kind of helping each other out.
Absolutely,
I've seen some things in your swing we'll talk about, and you've seen some in mine, and we'll kind of just go back and forth and help each other out. And if you guys are not subscribed to Grant Horvat Teaches, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And also, the winner is still waiting to be announced for the P770 set, so don't forget about that. Hopefully y'all enjoyed. Till next time, peace. Thanks, Pete.
Peace, everybody. Bye.